And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
Is this Tamil Nadu's Nandigram in the making? Villagers in Tiruvallur allege that the DMK has illegally grabbed them. NDTV Hindu does a reality check. Is too much discipline in colleges driving students towards crime? An NDTV Hindu investigation uncovers the tyranny of indiscipline. Chennai will not have shortage of water for the next 3 months thanks to the recent showers. PMK tries an environment-friendly gimmick, drafts a vision for a greener Chennai. And thank God it's Friday. This week, hopefully, we don't have to take these 3 releases with a pinch of salt. Good evening. It's time for Headlines Now. I am Radhika Iyer. Our lead story tonight is from Tiruvallur district. A village is angry after their land has just been grabbed by the DMK government. But before we give you details of that, a look at what's making headlines nationally. Amit Shah's arrest appears imminent. His anticipatory bail is denied. The CBI charges that the minister completely BJP leaders turned down the PM's invitation for lunch. The Congress describes the BJP's attempt to protect the accused. Resignation of Indian women's hockey team coach accepted. Will he now be found guilty of sexual harassment charges? In Madhya Pradesh, officials write "I am poor" on the walls of these tribal homes to get them benefits but also humiliate them in the process. And more than 55,000 sacks of grain are left in the open in FCI godowns in Maharashtra. Theravai is a village in Tiruvallur district where an SEZ housing an MNC tyre factory and other hazardous industries like glass will come up. Villagers who rely on the grazing lands say that the lands meant for community purposes have been grabbed illegally by the ruling DMK. What's worse is that such hazardous industries are being set up even without getting an environment clearance from the government. NDTV Hindu goes to ground zero to check this reality.
Tiruvai village in Tiruvallur district. 75-year-old Janaki is out with her livestock, collecting firewood to prepare dinner. These grasslands have been her world. The grass on it has kept the animals alive. The trees have kept the fire in her home burning. But anger boils over into bitterness when reminded of the SIPCOT Special Economic Zone, which will have a tyre factory apart from other hazardous industries on over 1,200 acres of forest land.
எங்களுக்கு எவ்வளோ வயசு தெரியுமா இந்த இடத்துல எங்களுக்கு வயசு இல்லாத அளவுக்கு பண்ணிட்டாங்களே இவங்க எவ்வளோ பெரிய பர்சரி எவ்வளோ பெரிய கிராமம் இது இந்த கிராமத்தை வந்து சுட்டு வாயில் போட்டு நான் அந்த அந்த ஆளை நினச்சா எவ்வளோ தான் வயிறு தெரியுமா எங்களுக்கு ஆனால் எதில் அந்த ஆளை கட்டாடம் சுட்டு எடுத்துருவாங்க அந்த ஆளை
குழந்தை குட்டிகளை எடுத்துட்டு மாட்டான கூட சாவடிச்சிடலாம் குழந்தை குட்டிகளை எடுத்துகிட்டு போய் எங்கே சாவடிக்கிறது சொல்லு மாடு ஆடானா எங்கன்னா ஊருக்கு போயிடலாம் விற்றுலாம் குழந்தை குட்டிகளை எடுத்துன்னு போய் எங்கே விற்க முடியும்.
The fears of the villagers of Tiruvallur are embedded in the damage a tyre factory and other highly polluting industries will do to agriculture. A yet-to-be-released environmental report prepared by the Madras Institute of Development Studies has confirmed certain fears. Aquifers will dry out and irrigation tanks like these will disappear. As far as the eye can see, there are grazing lands all around which have been used by locals to rear their livestock for centuries now. In fact, so pristine is this place that right behind me is the Nemulu Forest Reserve. If you can see that, that's the forest reserve next to these grazing lands. But the sad part is that 2 years from now, there'll be a rubber factory of a reputed multinational that will be up and running in this pristine environment. Now, the locals accuse the ruling DMK of buying out panchayat members and arm twisting them and grabbing these Parombok lands without their consent. So how was land meant for community purposes siphoned off and converted into a special economic zone? This is the government order passed in 2007, where overnight 1200 acres of Porambok land was taken by the government. This after the Panchayat gave an NOC by fudging the signatures of villagers without even a public hearing. Proof of that arm twisting is this. The official letterhead of Terwoi Panchayat has half a cutout of Deputy Chief Minister Stalin. A power statement, an indication perhaps that authorities are trying to inculcate fear and stifle opposition.
பஞ்சாயத்தில் கிராம சபை கூட்டத்தில் எங்களை வச்சு எதுவும் கேட்கல கேட்காதே அது கையெழுத்து போட்டு கொடுத்தாங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டு அறிக்கை கொடுத்தாங்க எங்களுக்கு.
இந்த கார்டு எங்களுக்கு திரும்ப கிடைக்க வரைக்கும் நான் கண்டிப்பாக போராட்டத்தை கைவிட மாட்டோம். அது எவ்வளோ பெரிய அதாவது கவர்மெண்ட் எவ்வளோ தான் எங்களுக்கு இடையூறு கொடுத்தாலும் அந்த இடையூறையும் தாண்டி எங்களால் அதை ஜெயிக்க முடியுற நம்பிக்கை எங்களுக்கு இருக்குது.
Development is an idea that is simple and logical, yet to millions of Indians, development is a dreadful and hateful word because it does not fulfill even their basic sustenance. Why is it then that the Indian state's perception and vision of development is so much at odds with the very people that it's supposed to develop? And why is it that it's always the people whose rights are so dispensable? With camera person Kuti Raj, this is Sai Manish for NDTV Hindu.
Right. Is the government indeed stealing of livelihood? A report of the environmental impact prepared by the Madras Institute of Development of Studies on behalf of a French NGO on this very SEZ will release on the 31st of July, which we will of course track and be on top of. Moving on, it's not only theft, kidnap or murders that lead to increase of crime graph in the city. According to experts, it seems that the big reason could also be that perhaps there's too much of disciplining in private colleges that perhaps is a catalyst, even if this is a report in fact by our crime reporter Salim, and this of course is only an indication from some experts saying the crimes committed by students could perhaps be because of excessive disciplining in colleges.
Some private colleges boast about strict discipline. Satyabama Deemed University is one such place. But 8 of its students were arrested 2 weeks ago for the murder of a student of another college. In another incident, a student of St. Joseph's College committed suicide after he was reportedly harassed by the management in the name of discipline.
Rules and regulations are ரொம்ப கஷ்டம். ஹாஸ்டல்ல பர்மிஷன் பண்ணாங்க. வீட்ல இருந்து டாக்ஸ் வந்தா போவிங்க, எல்லாம் போவிங்க பண்ணாங்க.
There are dress codes that ban jeans and t-shirts. Even wearing a beard or a new hairstyle attracts stiff punishments. Rules also force students to use only buses operated by the college.
ஐயன் பஸ்ல தான் போவோம், பஸ்ல தான் வரும். நடந்து யாரும் போக மாட்டாங்க. வேஸ்ட் செய்ய போறது. எல்லா பஸ்ஸும் வேஸ்ட் போறோம். பையனை பஸ்ல போட்டு அமுக்கி வெளியே அமுக்கிடுவோம்.
Oppressive rules which consider friendships between male and female students on the campus as unacceptable is believed to have caused a girl to commit suicide in a private college recently. Lack of respect between teachers and students is another problem. Tamil Nadu is home to more than 450 engineering colleges, and many of them have an inexperienced faculty, made up of student-turned-teachers who end up teaching their juniors.
And if the students get their degree and when they don't get a job, then they look for some assignment, and the teaching institutions, large numbers are coming up, mushroom growth of engineering colleges, and the college promoters, they would love to get it filled with the teachers, available teachers.
In comparison, it's been found that state-run engineering colleges handle issues of discipline and staffing in a more professional manner. A lot now depends on the bodies that authorize private colleges to bring about the urgent reforms to redefine education by private players. In Chennai, Salim for NDTV Hindu.
Days after the fake mark sheet scam was reported by NDTV Hindu in Chennai, the issue has resurfaced. This time in Tanjavur. 4 people have been caught for faking class 12 mark sheets in Kumbakonam in Tanjavur district. This was after the regional passport office found a fake mark sheet along with a passport application, and they tipped off the police. The student who applied for the passport using the fake mark sheet has been arrested. It's a day exactly a year since the Tamil Nadu government has hailed its medical insurance scheme named after the Chief Minister M. Karunanidhi, and it seems that it is a big hit. At least the DMK wants to believe that. But as the scheme marks its first year, there are reports of widespread malpractice. Nithila gets us the story.
The insurance scheme known as Kalaignar Kaapittu Thittam is promoted by the DMK as one of its biggest achievements. Chief Minister M. Karunanidhi met with top officials of government and private hospitals to celebrate the success of the scheme.
எனக்கு 4 மாசம் மஞ்சகாமல இருந்து ஐயா லைஃப் லைன் ஹாஸ்பிடல்ல சார் மூலமா ஆபரேஷன் பண்ணி இப்போது அவங்களுடைய மூலமா நான் உயிர் வாழ்ந்துட்டு இருக்கேன்.
This man is below the poverty line. He was found to have a rare cancer. He underwent a major procedure for cancer of the pancreas. It was done laparoscopically using small holes, and he's probably the 4th or 5th man in the country to undergo this procedure.
But the insurance scheme has come under fire time and again, both from political parties and the common man.
The government is going to give more than 2,000 crore to a private health insurance company that is called Star Health Insurance Company. With this huge amount, the government could have started more than 10 well-equipped 10 medical colleges. Otherwise, they could have started more than 5 institutes like All India Institute of Medical Sciences. So they have wasted the government taxpayers' money.
நான் வந்து அட்மிட் ஆயிருந்தேன். 18,000 ஓவர் சொல்லிருக்கேன். எக்ஸ்ட்ரா 18,000. இது கலைஞர் காப்பீட்டுல 1 லட்சம் ரூபாய் வரும்னா சொல்லி நீ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அட்மிட் ஆகணும் ஓனர் ஃபைட் பண்ணலாம். எல்லாம் 35,000 கட்டினா உடனே உன்னை ரிலீவ் இது பண்றேன். இல்லனா கிடையாது.
Despite these brickbats, political analysts say the DMK will continue to use the scheme to gather mass support.
There are some black holes in the scheme. There is no doubt about that. But still, for what it is worth, I'm sure that the DMK is known to wield the publicity megaphone very competently in the past. So similarly, they'll do that, and you already see that small clips of publicity clips about the scheme being aired on television and on cinema houses. So I think they will build on it.
1 year on, the Kalaignar Health Insurance Scheme has received both praise and criticism. But the big question is, with less than a year to go for the assembly elections, how successful will the DMK government be in showcasing this scheme to woo voters? In Chennai, Nithila, NDTV Hindu.
Well, the opposition clearly alleging that some of the ministers and some top DMK personalities have a hand in benefiting in that very scheme. Moving on, Gujarat Home Minister Amit Shah's arrest appears imminent. His anticipatory bail has been denied and the CBI has charged the minister with complicity to murder. Amit Shah failed to show up before the CBI questioning for the second day in a row. The CBI has moved court for his arrest warrant and has also filed a 3,000-page charge sheet against him.
Central Bureau of Investigation has filed a charge sheet today against 15 accused persons in the Court of Additional Chief Judicial Magistrate Ahmedabad under Section 120B, read with 342, 364, 365, 368, 384, 302 and 201 in the encounter of Sohrabuddin and brutally killing his wife Kausarbi. These accused persons are DIG of Police, 2 Superintendent of Police, 2 Deputy Superintendents of Police, 3 Police Inspectors, 3 Sub-Inspectors, DCP Ahmedabad Crime, Minister of State Home Gujarat, Chairman ADC Bank and Director ADC Bank. The CBI has not found adequate evidence against 3 accused persons who were earlier sent for trial. These are Ajay Parmar, Police Constable ATS Ahmedabad, Sant Ram Sharma, Police Constable ATS Ahmedabad and B.A. Rathore, Inspector ATS Ahmedabad. CBI therefore did not include them in its charge sheet. The Minister of State for Home, Government of Gujarat, was issued summons for his appearance before CBI on 22nd July 2010 and 23rd July 2010. He did not appear and hence charge sheet was filed without his examination.
Stung by the CBI summoning its top Gujarat Minister Amit Shah for questioning in a criminal case, the BJP has slammed the government for what it calls the shameless misuse of the CBI for political benefit. Earlier in the day, senior BJP leaders L.K. Advani, Nitin Gadkari, Sushma Swaraj and Arun Jaitley skipped a lunch hosted by the Prime Minister to put their displeasure on record. The BJP has accused the government in the centre of misusing the CBI to go after Amit Shah.
इससे एक दिन पहले आडवाणी जी ने प्रणव जी से ये बात की भी थी कि हम लोगों को ये खबर है कि फिर सीबीआई का दुरुपयोग गुजरात में होने जा रहा है, अगर आप इसको रोक सकते हैं तो रोकिए। लेकिन उस पर भी किसी तरह का कोई अमल नहीं किया गया। इसीलिए आज हमने इस लंच के इनविटेशन को ठुकराया है।
The facts are concocted and false. The agency, that is the CBI, has behaving like an extended arm of the ruling party. And timing has been chosen for the political convenience of the Congress party. ये किस तरह के प्रेसिडेंट बना रहे हैं? What kind of precedent are they setting?
All right, the BJP in fact very famously says that the CBI, according to them, is the Congress Bureau of Investigation. Well, trust politicians to get as innovative. But while the BJP is crying foul, the Congress says that with the CBI closing in on Shah and the mentor, who is the mentor of Narendra Modi, it seems that the Modi government is running scared.
A party which calls itself a responsible opposition party has fielded its senior leaders to preempt, to influence and to subvert an ongoing Supreme Court initiated investigation. This is indefensible and unheard of. By this action, the BJP is scaling new heights of illegal, unconstitutional and improper conduct.
Well, moving on to the shock and the shame that this very sex scandal has brought to the country's national game. NDTV has access to a copy of the letter written by the women's team members to the inquiry panel. The panel is supposed to submit its report to Hockey India today. The letter says in parts, the coach MK Kaushik asked for sexual favors from junior players, called them to his room in the name of team meetings. Coach had a relationship with the team manager Arunita Seni and said that he spoiled the atmosphere in the team and in the camps. The video analyst, who has now been sacked of course, has zero computer knowledge. The report also says that the coach has no tactical knowledge and he is psychologically unfit. The PMK comes up with a blueprint for a green Chennai, it seems. And movie buffs in the city in an action-packed 3 new movie releases for you this weekend. So stay tuned for that preview after the short break.